This will not only help you build a community, it may also help you find the love of your life. I don't need to tell you why isolation is so dangerous. Like, we all went through it. We all went through the pandemic. We all know what it's like to be alone, right? So we know the consequences of that. We know that there's correlated with depression. We know that's correlated with suicide, which all of those things went up. Just to give you an idea of how lonely we are as a generation, or at least the most recent generations, well, millennials and Gen Z are the most lonely generation so far compared to Gen X, boomers, the greatest generation. Millennials and Gen Z are the loneliest, with Gen Z specifically being the loneliest generation thus far. Regardless of what you think the reasoning is for isolation, why we're more lonely today than ever before, we can debate that all day long. What matters, though, is that it's here. We have to accept that young people are just a lot more lonely today than ever before. And I experienced this firsthand. I mean, look at this picture of me. This was back in 2013 when I was knee deep in the trap of isolation. Just to give you an idea of how lonely I actually was, my closest friend at the time was my drug dealer. Yeah. So how do you not end up like that? How do you not end up in that situation that I was in? How do you not end up alone and isolated and depressed and wanting to kill yourself? Because that's where I was at. Well, there are at least 3 things that you can do. You can take 3 steps. And this is not only according to the research, this is also coming from my own personal experience as well. Step number 1, expand your community involvement. This should be obvious, right? You can't be alone if you're surrounded by people. No, but seriously, I mean, Twenge says that part of the reason why we are so damn lonely is because we're less likely to belong to clubs and community organizations, and less likely to have friends over for dinner, and less likely to visit our neighbors. And I'll pull from my own personal experience. I didn't really start turning my life around until I started to join things. When I went back to COS, when I went back to school, and I joined the Puente program, and I got my own family, and I joined the creative writing club, and I got into classes, and I started hanging out with people again. This will not only help you build a community, it may also help you find the love of your life. I mean, just look at the data. Statistically speaking, the places where you are most likely to find the love of your life are through a friend, at a bar, at a restaurant, through a coworker, through family, and through school. So expand your community involvement. Go out. Make friends, go to a restaurant, join a club, get a new job, join a fucking cult. I don't care. Okay, I think that might be a little too far. But still, like, all of these things will increase your chance of being less isolated, surrounding yourself by people that will make you feel good because you have a community to call your own. Number 2, pick your family. There's a saying that you can't pick your friends. Oh wait, no. The saying, if you can't pick your family, you can't pick your friends. That's the saying. Well, psychologist Meg J argues that you can. You can pick your family. So how do you do that, right? What does that even mean, actually? What does that mean, picking your family? Well, it means picking the people that are going to be there for you to the end. Picking the good ones, right? The ones that are loyal, the ones that actually care about you, the ones that are going to be there when shit gets rough. That's your family, and you can pick them, because once you've expanded your community involvement, once you have, okay, I have some acquaintances here, I have some friends, I have potential lovers even, that's when you really start thinking about, like, okay, which ones are the keepers? Which ones are the ones that are demonstrating that they're going to be there for me? The ones that genuinely have compassion towards me, and that I can see them being partners in life. Okay, that brings us to our third and final step. Number 3 is very simple, but it's likely the most difficult step. Number 3 is to commit. Commit, commit, commit. And I say this is the most difficult step because it's so easy for relationships to fall apart. So easy. I mean, we have changing personalities. People are too busy. We have natural disasters, obviously, that happen. And then just plain old beef between people. Relationships are easy to come by. They're also easy to go. Especially for someone like me that didn't think they needed a relationship. It becomes very difficult to maintain them because you've never had the experience to do it. I think if I had any piece of advice for anybody struggling with this, it would just be to be a lot less hard on yourself and hard on other people, right? You gotta be forgiving of yourself and forgiving of other people, because we're all human. We all carry around guilt and shame and trauma, all these things that sort of hinder ourselves, but also can become self-destructive in relationships. If you struggle with depression, then you likely have gone through a period of forced isolation where you sort of cut off everyone in your life. That happens. Or if you're anxious, if you're an anxious person, you may have gone through situations where you sort of push people away because you're scared of losing them. But we have to push against that. We have to push against that urge to destroy our bridges. And yes, it's scary, it's difficult, and you may not be happy all the time, but it's completely worth it, because if you are able to maintain these relationships, if you're able to stay in touch with these people, then they become the people that are going to be there for you to the end. And if you happen to be in a toxic situation where it's abusive or whatever, like, yes, definitely leave. But if that's not the case, then stick it out, because these are the people that make life worth living. Don't let them go. So do the brave thing. Get out there. Expand your community involvement. Pick your family and never let them go. All right, that about does it for this video. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you want more content, subscribe. I did try doing things a little bit differently today. I didn't have a script. I had an outline that I would sort of riff off of as I was speaking to make it a bit more conversational, more personal, because I want to build that community with you guys. I want to build a network of people that we can sort of rely on each other, right? Because I think that's what we need in today's day and age, like I talked about in this video, to fight against isolation, anxiety, and depression. So if you want to be more active in the community or to help me make these videos, then go ahead and follow me on Twitter at The Brave Things. I like to post little polls there to gauge what people want to watch. I do want to say sorry that this video came out a little bit later. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'm supposed to be making videos every couple of weeks, but I'm going through finals, so things were a little bit hectic. And I'm human too. I still struggle with my own issues from the past. Like that photo of me that I showed earlier, that's still a part of me. And even though, as much as I like to say that it's been in the past, we're still human and we still fall into old habits. So with that being said, I try to have a little bit of grace with myself, and I hope that you have a little bit of grace with yourself as well, and try to be more forgiving and understanding when things don't go the way that you want them to go. Like for me, this video should have came out a few days ago, but it didn't. But it's okay. On to the next one. I'm going to be hopefully making another video pretty soon, and I'll let you guys know when that's going to drop. Until then, as always, the next time you find yourself in a precarious place, it's the brave things that'll get you through it.